The Louisville Ladder Group welcomes you to our Climb Academy, where we take ladder safety to a whole new level. The Louisville Ladder Group offers a versatile selection of rolling warehouse ladders for industrial use. When selecting yours, we recommend that you follow the rules we've developed for the Climb Academy. They are C. Choose it right. Always have the right ladder for the job. The letter L stands for Look closely. Inspect your ladder for any damage or missing parts. I recommends that you ensure a safe, stable ladder setup. M means you should move slowly and carefully as you ascend and descend the ladder, always having 3 points of contact on the ladder at all times. And finally, B asks you to become a safety expert, not a statistic. To start, let's explore the C in Climb. When you're choosing a rolling warehouse ladder, you must consider the weight rating of the ladder, the height of the ladder, the ladder's material, and the ascent-descent angle of the ladder. Rolling warehouse ladders are capable of supporting up to 300 pounds of combined weight for you and your materials. If you need to go beyond 300 pounds, we suggest the fiberglass ladders for two-person use. Rolling warehouse ladders are available in a variety of heights and are identified by the number of steps to the platform. Unlike step and extension ladders, these steps are not spaced 1 foot apart, so consult your ladder manufacturer for the height of the top platform. Your rolling warehouse ladder should always be tall enough to allow you to do your job without overreaching. The climbing angle of the ladder will dictate which ladder is appropriate for your task. We offer 2 types, forward and standard descent ladders. Forward descent ladders allow you to walk down the ladder facing away from it. Standard descent ladders require that you face the ladder when climbing up or down. The ladder's material is another consideration. The primary material for rolling warehouse ladders is steel. However, fiberglass ladders are available in the event that you would need to use them near electrical hazards. Next, you must follow the L in Climb. Look it over closely. Always inspect your ladder for any damage or missing parts. Look it over thoroughly from top to bottom for damage, and be sure all of the labels are still attached and legible. With rolling warehouse ladders, you should check for loose fasteners and confirm that the locking device functions and casters are operating smoothly. Good preventative maintenance includes lubricating the moving parts regularly. Check the steps of your steel ladder for wet paint, grease, oil, or any foreign materials that will make them slippery. Keep them clean. Also, be sure to inspect the rubber footing. If it's in poor shape, tag it for repair or dispose of it, but don't use it. Once you've inspected your ladder, you're ready for the I in Climb. Ensure a safe, stable ladder setup. When you're setting up your ladder, it's best if you don't entrust your safety to someone else and leave your ladder unattended. If your ladder has 5 steps like this one, handrails are required. On steel ladders over 10 feet, handrails with toe boards are required on 3 sides of the top step. Once your ladder is in position, you need to lock the wheels down to keep it from rolling. On this model, the trip bar locking device restricts movement. Models with spring-loaded casters like this one need only your body weight to keep them from rolling. Now that you're ready to climb the ladder, remember the M in Climb, which asks that you move slowly and carefully, always maintaining 3 points of contact on the ladder as you climb up or down, meaning 2 feet and 1 hand, or 2 hands and 1 foot. And make sure you have a firm grip on the handrail. Your shoes should be clean and slip resistant, and you should only climb on the steps, never the frame. Once your project is complete and it's time to move on, climb down, deactivate the brake mechanism, and reposition your ladder. And of course, you should never try to move the ladder while you're on it. Since 300 people die annually in ladder accidents, while another 175,000 are injured, the Louisville Ladder Group has committed itself to working on ladder safety issues. All we ask is that you do your part, and remember the B in Climb, which means become a safety expert, not a statistic. In closing, let's recap briefly so that you can see the rules come together. C. Choose it right. Always have the right ladder for the job. L. Look closely. Inspect your ladder for any damage or missing parts. I. Ensure a safe, stable ladder setup. M. Move slowly and carefully as you ascend and descend the ladder, always having 3 points of contact on the ladder at all times. B, be a ladder safety expert, not a statistic. And remember, you can always call on the Louisville Ladder Group with any questions at 1-800-666-2811 or visit our website. We're here for your safety. The Louisville Ladder Group welcomes you to our Climb Academy, where we take scaffold safety to a whole new level. The Louisville Ladder Group, known for manufacturing world-class step, extension, and rolling warehouse ladders, is also a manufacturer of scaffolds. The rules we've developed for our Climb Academy also apply to scaffolding. They are as follows. C, choose it right. Always have the right scaffold for the job. L, look closely. Inspect your scaffold for any damage or missing parts. I, ensure a safe, stable scaffold setup. M, move slowly and carefully as you ascend and descend the scaffold, always having 3 points of contact at all times. B, be a scaffold safety expert, not a statistic. Now, let's begin by checking out the C in Climb, which stands for Choose It Right. Always have the right scaffold for the job. When you're choosing a scaffold for a project, there are 3 main considerations: a scaffold's platform size, its weight rating, and the scaffold height. Scaffold platform sizes come in 6 or 8 foot lengths, with the 6 foot length being the standard. This dimension affects not only the work area, but also the weight rating of the scaffold. The label on your scaffold will indicate the maximum load rating. To determine if you're over or under the maximum, consider the weight of the person on the scaffold, plus the materials he or she will be using. The weight limit for a 6-foot scaffold is 50 pounds per square foot, or 655 pounds, which is designed for a maximum of 2 grown people. To stay safe, you should never exceed this weight limit. When it comes to height, Louisville brand scaffold units can stack 2 6-foot units high, plus 1 3-foot extender, for a total height of 15 feet. To go beyond this maximum violates OSHA and ANSI safety rules. Once you've chosen the right scaffold for your job, you're ready for the next lesson in the Climb Academy, the letter L. Look closely. Check for any damage or missing parts. The first part of your safety check is to inspect the scaffold for proper labeling. Always check over your scaffold components thoroughly, including the trusses, which are the supports on either side of the ladder, and your welds, to be sure that nothing is bent, broken, or damaged. Also check to be sure that all of the moving parts are moving freely. Your casters should all be functional, and you should be able to easily lock them into position. The casters seen here have a dual lock feature. There are wheel locks to prevent rolling and swivel locks to prevent swiveling. Check your end frames for any slippery surfaces from oil or grease. Your end frames must be clean and dry to reduce your chance of slipping when you climb up or down. Once you've confirmed that your scaffold is past inspection, you're ready for setup. Before you begin setting up or working on your scaffold, make sure that the doors and surrounding area are clearly blocked with cautionary tape. Always be aware of electrical hazards. Keep your metal and highly conductive scaffold unit away from hazardous electrical sources. Here's where the I in Climb comes in. I, ensure a safe, stable scaffold setup. Now, let's go back and take a look at setting it up the right way. It's important to remember that you should never leave your assembled scaffold unit unattended, so that your safety is never compromised. The 2 end frames and the 2 trusses, or side pieces, create the support for the top plank. To set up your scaffold, you must put a pin in each of the holes of the end frames. We recommend you use 2 pins for extra strength. Next, you need to tighten up the L knob to take the looseness out of the connection between the truss and the end frame, which can cause swaying. The truss offers 1.5 inches of support for your top plank And you must use the board that's included with your unit. The ends of this plank have specifically placed angles to add to your protection. Now, it's time to check to make sure that all 4 pistol grips have their pins engaged. If not, the handle and grip will retract and won't engage correctly. When installing the caster in the end frame, as seen here, you'll want to install the bolts which are on each side to minimize sway. For taller units, there's a spring pin feature for quick disconnect, so that you can easily remove the casters and stack the units. Also remember that if you're creating a unit beyond 6 feet high, you must include a handrail. Beyond 6 feet, it's necessary to add an outrigger. An outrigger makes the footprint or base of the unit wider for added stability as you increase the height of your scaffold. A fully assembled scaffold can be easily moved on its casters, but must be free of people and equipment during transport. Once you have it where you need it, lock down each wheel. The next step in scaffold safety is M. Move slowly and carefully, always maintaining 3 points of contact. Before you start climbing, make sure your shoes are clean and have good traction. And don't forget those all-important 3 points of contact on your way up or down. You should always face toward the scaffold as you're climbing and step onto the end frame below the plank. Climb over the end rail and don't swing around the end frame. Once you're there, you still have a couple of rules to remember. Always keep your body within the footprint or outline of the board. Never overreach. If you find the job is too high, you probably need to add height to your scaffold. When you're loading equipment onto a scaffold, do it slowly and cautiously to prevent tipping. Scaffolding is a versatile piece of equipment. It can be made longer, wider, and higher, but all of the accessories must be used safely. For example, when you're using guardrails for higher projects, be sure to close the gate and block access to it to play it safe. Since nearly 300 people die annually in ladder accidents while another 175,000 are injured, the Louisville Ladder Group has committed itself to working on ladder safety issues. All we ask is that you do your part and remember the B in climb, which means become a safety expert, not a statistic. In closing, let's recap briefly so that you can see the rules come together. C. Choose it right. Always have the right scaffold for the job. L. Look closely. Inspect your scaffold for any damage or missing parts. I. Ensure a safe, stable scaffold setup. M. Move slowly and carefully as you ascend and descend the scaffold, always having 3 points of contact at all times. B. Be a scaffold safety expert, not a statistic. And remember, you can always call on the Louisville Ladder Group with any questions at 1-800-666-2811 or visit our website. We're here for your safety.